I forgot.
Hey everyone, you're listening to Barely Even Here. Welcome back to our third episode of Barely Even Here. If this is your first time listening, welcome. Make sure you go back and check out the other two episodes. If you're a returning listener, thank you. We love you. Thanks for joining us again. And you're in the cool group. Come on, new guys. Come on. You got to catch up. Listen to the other two. You'll be with us so you're not just confused about what the hell's going on here. Because trust me, I'm confused half the time, and that's why I started this fucking thing. Dude, all right. I love movies, man. I love movies. I love video games, but God, man, everything just keeps letting me down lately. I watched Evil Dead Rise not that long ago. Let me tell you something. Evil Dead 2, I saw for the first time when I was like, gosh, maybe 10 years old at my Aunt Sherry's house, because my mom's always a horror hound too. Like, her favorite movie is Halloween. Well, it's close between Halloween and Jaws. So I was getting to watch horror movies pretty young. My mom worked in the crime lab. You know, she was privy to a lot of macabre things. So horror movies, she didn't really shield us from. I saw The Wolfman when I was like 4 years old, maybe even younger. I probably saw Halloween and Children of the Corn around the same time. I was very young when we started watching horror movies. I was also a bedwetter. Candyman made me piss the bed till I was like 11 years old. I shit you not. I don't know what was so scary about it, but you know what my mom did to make me get over that fear? It sounds abusive, but it worked. And it was a different time, so don't judge my mom. She had me bring a pillow and a blanket into the bathroom because we had this huge mirror. You know, if you've ever seen I'm talking about Tony Todd. I'm not talking about that bastardization of Candyman that came out not that long ago. Fuck that. So if I'm talking about Candyman, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about Tony Mother effing Todd. And it freaked me out. So she made me sleep in the bathroom, right by the bathroom sink on the floor under that huge mirror to show me that nothing was going to happen to me. And guess what? Still peed the bed, but only when I stayed the night at other people's houses. And sometimes when I would sleep on the couch. And I remember one time I was asleep on the couch and my mom had just bought this brand new couch, which is something, we were very poor. So for us to buy brand new stuff was very rare. And I had peed on the couch in my sleep. And what I did in the night was I went and I got a coffee cup and I put just a little bit, maybe a quarter cup of water in it. And I laid it down to look like like I had spilled a cup of water. My mom instantly knew it was urine, probably because of the smell. Anyway, now that I've ragged on myself enough, let's talk about these shit horror movies, man. I watched Evil Dead Rise not that long ago. I love the Evil Dead franchise. Love it. But they let me down with this one. And you know what I'm tired of hearing? Because there was Evil Dead, I think it was 2011. I'm going to look this up real quick. I'm pretty sure that the other Evil Dead came out in 2011. Oh, it was 2013. It was 2013. So fucking 10-year difference. All right, so the Evil Dead franchise was really good. The first one was like, it was like the Clerks of horror movies. They just kind of did whatever they could for money on whatever property they could get to realize their vision. Right, which is what made me respect them to begin with. And then the second one was like, well, we have a bigger budget and we're backed. Fucking Anchor Bay, Rosebud. At the time, those were pretty good companies, right? So they basically remade the first one to make it better. And it's like, dude, way to go. That's awesome of you to do that. The third one was complete hilarity through the whole thing. They kind of dropped the scariness. I mean, it's still a little scary, I guess, but Army of Darkness was more funny than anything. But man, Evil Dead 2013 is a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a good movie. But as far as Evil Dead, It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. Spoiler alert. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't click off the video. If you're going to click off because you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back. I don't want you to miss out on an episode because there's going to be spoilers. But Evil Dead 2013 starts out with with some people having to handle a deadite, right? Which is what it's the entities that are possessing people. They're called deadites. And they're these horrible, awful bastards of some sort of demon. And they possess you, and they got one, and they got to burn it at the stake, and it's this horrible, awful thing. So they've already dealt with deadites. They know what the fuck deadites are. This isn't Linda Blair, exorcist strapped to a bed. I mean, she's strapped to something, but, this isn't like an exorcist movie. Anyway, they know what they're capable of. So what do they do when the young people that go out there to detox their friend, they go in the basement, which has this room. They would have smelled this. They would have smelled this fucking house from across the bridge, right? Before they even got there. Because down in the basement, there's one room that's got nothing but all these skinned animals all over the place, which, no explanation of that. And they're still wet, right? So people couldn't have been gone that long for whatever skinned all these animals. So are they implying that deadites are already out? Are they implying that there's crazy people out there that are just skinned? Like, what are you implying? What's even going on there? What's the fucking purpose of that? Just to be, oh my God, that's creepy. And at one point, the girl that's detoxing, the main, she's going crazy because she's coming off of heroin. I'm pretty sure it's heroin. I don't really know my drugs, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's heroin. But she's coming off it pretty hard, and she keeps talking about this smell. Nobody else smells that fucking smell. And blah. It's a whole room. It's like the size of it's bigger than an average laundry room. That's just filled with all these dead animals. They would have how is she the only fucking one that smells it? She's the drug addict. She's the fucking addict. Nobody else smells this fucking thing. That doesn't make any sense. Also, what I was getting to anyway about the people that dealt with it in the very beginning of the movie. You know how they okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself, man. It just irritates me so much. The deadites come usually when somebody reads from the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon, that was created and popularized by H.P. Lovecraft, who is one of my favorite authors. I let Sam Raimi slide with using the Necronomicon that way, as if it's mine, like I have any kind of fucking say over it. But in this one, the Necronomicon is there. In the first one, it made a lot more sense because there was I think he was dang it. I don't think he was an archaeologist. He was some kind of professor. Do I want to say not a geologist. I don't know. Maybe he was some sort of archaeologist, or he was definitely a professor of some kind. I can't remember, which is actually irritating because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. I should know it. But Bruce Campbell finds an audio recording. It's like, oh, neat. It's a reel-to-reel, and he plays it, and they just happen to be reading from the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, which causes the deadites to come, and then he has to fight them off, right? In the 2013 one, after they had seen all that crazy shit going on, you know how these people that the movie's about are protagonists that are soon to become antagonists and sadomasochistic demon-possessed freaks. It's just sitting on a table. It's sitting on a table. But don't worry, they tried to protect anybody from using it by wrapping it in barbed wire and plastic bags. They wrapped it up in like black trash bags and barbed wire and just leave it on a table. So if you're going to go, not only that, but somebody writes, don't fucking read the book. Don't fucking read it. Keep it closed. Why the fuck is it just sitting on a goddamn table? Why don't you like fucking put it in a safe and drop it in the fucking ocean? What the fuck is the matter with you? Where did everybody go? Where is everybody? They don't talk about that either. They just up and leave. But they left the fucking book and a shotgun sitting next to it. It's fucking, that doesn't make any sense. It drives me nuts, dude. It drives me nuts. The crazy thing is, it's a good movie. It's a very good horror movie. It's a fantastic horror movie. There's a lot of shock horror. There's body horror. It's great. They paid homage where they felt like they needed to, and they changed some things up. But why call it Evil Dead? I hate when they do that with. I can't stand when they do that with movies. If you're gonna remake something, why don't you fucking call it something else? Like, just pay homage to it. Remember that movie Cabin in the Woods? That movie paid homage to like every homage, whatever. I'm gonna say homage. That movie paid on. I went and confused myself. But that movie paid homage to so many different things. And it was still a good movie. It was its own movie. Do that. Just name it something else. Now let's talk about Evil Dead Rise. That movie was hot dog shit in dumpster water soup. I don't care. It got such raving reviews. Do me a favor right now. Go look at the cover for Smile. Look at the artwork for that. And then look at the artwork for Evil Dead Rise. Dude, first off, convenient. Super convenient. The movie starts off out in a cabin. So you're thinking, okay, they're going back to the roots. They're not going to change much. But I could have sworn in the city. Because when I'm thinking Evil Dead Rise, I remember seeing the trailers. And I'm like, oh, they're in the city, so the Deadites are going to be taking over a city because that's what they want. It's so frustrating. So it starts off in a cabin, and somebody gets possessed by a Deadite. Oh my gosh, and starts floating and flying and shit, right? Deadites do that sometimes, but only for dramatic effect, which I kind of like that they only do it for dramatic effect, except for in Army of Darkness, but I think that's because that one was technically a witch. And that's why she could fly. Some of them have wings. Anyway, then it comes and there's a family in the city. I'm not going to do a whole rundown of the movie, but there's a family in the city. And, oh no, there's an earthquake. And, oh, it opened a passage into this secret place. And, oh, there's a big vault in this place. And, oh, wouldn't you know it? It's open. The big vault. Underground. In this secret little area. Open now. Because of an earthquake. You think banks would have a serious problem where these people live. Everybody'd be rich. And why are you living there? They're about to demolish our home here. So why are you living there? You have a family to take care of. Why are you living there? Anyway, it's convenient like that. And then they get the book, and then the kid's a DJ. So the kid ends up playing it on... and the kid's a DJ. So he ends up playing it on a record player. Way to bring it into modern times because records are new. Like, I know I'm being so pessimistic, but it just drives me crazy when you take a good franchise and you just dump on it. And for some reason, everybody loves it. But I think those same people would have a hard time going back and watching the original Evil Deads. And people always go back to, well, Sam Raimi signed off on it. He said he thought it was a great idea, and he's actually a part in it. And Bruce Campbell's a part on the phone. Let me tell you this. Sam Raimi made Spider-Man 3. Sam Raimi made Spider-Man 3 with Topher Grace. Come on, man. Don't give me that. Oh, Sam Raimi signed off on it. Sam Raimi did Spider-Man 3, and that was a dog poop. Sorry. It wasn't good. You think that's what we want? You think we wanted Topher Grace as Eddie Brock? You think that's how we wanted... You give us... I'm going to calm down. You give us Eddie Brock. But you don't give us Venom. So I don't want to hear it, dude. I don't want to hear, oh, well, Sam Raimi signed off on it, so it must be a good movie. Get out of here, dude. Anybody could sign off on anything. Of course... But here's the thing. Sam Raimi's an artist, right? He used the Necronomicon, right, which is from H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft left his story. He wanted his stories to be retold and rewritten, and he wanted people to continue on the mythos of Cthulhu and Yog-Sothoth and Azathoth and Nyarlathotep. He wanted that to continue, and people make incredible stories out of him. The weird thing is, we don't get very many Lovecraft stories. But of course, Sam Raimi wants to sign off on these things. He wants people to go and make their own universes out of what he made to make a multiverse out of it because he's a Lovecraft fan. He uses the Necronomicon. That's what Lovecraft did. That doesn't automatically make it a good movie. Look at the cover art for Smile and look at the cover art for Evil Dead Rise. It's like the same thing, right? And then do the whole movie. It's just the mom trying to kill her family. You're in a city. There's windows. It's not like Deadites don't know what cities are. It's one thing when it was way out in the cabin. And it's dead by dawn. You're all going to be dead by dawn. Why wouldn't they go? Why would the Deadites not try to take over that whole city? I think they're like in L.A. Let's find out. I just want to make sure. Because that would be even more ridiculous. I mean, they're having earthquakes. Let's find out. It is L.A. Evil Dead Rise takes place on the upper floor of a Los Angeles high-rise in a space your characters are intimately familiar with, which builds a dread distinct from the cabin in the woods setting this franchise is more associated with. Here's the thing, though. It doesn't. Which builds a dread distinct from the cabin in the woods setting. No, because now you're in a high rise in LA and the whole thing centers around one fucking apartment on one floor of the high rise. So what you've done was you've taken the cabin in the woods setting and you've put it in the city of Los Angeles of all things. Fuck off, dude. Why would the Deadites not go out and try to get more people? Why are they stuck there? You know what they try to use? And they don't even say it, but they imply it. That earthquake, they can't leave because, oh no, the earthquake caused one of the fucking stairwells to fall. What's keeping the fucking Deadites from leaving and going and getting more people? They're in LA of all places. The City of Angels. Did they do that on fucking purpose? I bet they fucking did, those fucks. I bet they did do that on purpose. That sounds just like them, dude. And it's already enough that they have, that Smile thing because Smile was such a big movie. I didn't care for it, but at least it was its own thing. And then Evil Dead Rise comes and tries to take that, and then there is more of that weird contortion shit that was really big, like in the mid-2000s with the possession movies and stuff. There's more of that going on than there is Deadite shit going on. Drives me ape shit is what it does. It made me wish I was fucking dead by dawn. Why would... dude, and then you showed the Deadite floating in the beginning. We know Deadites can float when they want to. They can levitate, usually for dramatic effect. But we've seen Deadites harm themselves. We've seen just regular people harm themselves because of the Deadites. You think one story is going to stop the Deadites from going out? So no, they didn't make it distinct. They just took the fucking cabin in the woods and they put it in L.A. How the fuck did you manage to do that? So you were going out of your way to be a shit movie. Oh my God. You know what? And then you know what they do at the end? A random girl that also lives in the high rise is leaving somewhere. And they use that as an opportunity to make that. It's like a point of view Deadite that's going after people. They use it a lot in the other Evil Deads, usually implying a sense of horrible, awful evil. And it gets her. And guess who she is? The girl in the cabin from the beginning of the movie. So do you know what that means? Didn't have to happen. That didn't have to happen. The Deadites were in the city and possessed a girl that ended up back out in the cabin in the woods. So the beginning of the movie is like the end of the movie. Fuck that movie, dude. This was supposed to be lighthearted. This whole thing was... I am way too worked up, and I haven't even started talking about fucking Skinamarink yet, dude. Did you guys see Skinamarink? I didn't. I fell asleep like 3 fucking times. What happened to good horror movies, man? Everything's so fucking convoluted and CGI when there doesn't need to be CGI. Like those new It's, they blew up. They were all over the fucking place. They were dog shit. Let me ask you, dude, Pennywise. Let's talk about Pennywise. And if I'm saying the name Pennywise to you right now, and your first image in your head is not Tim Curry, dude, I hope you poop a Lego out, man. Like, and here's why. Bill Skarsgård he's an amazing actor, right? And the whole cast of the newer ones were great. They were fantastic. But if you read the book, even if you didn't read the book, okay, Pennywise, or It, is a shape-shifting being that's been around since before the Big Bang. There are 2 entities that have been around before the Big Bang. Actually 3, because if you really get into it, there's... okay, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to... matter of fact, I'll leave the books out of this, okay? Let's just say you look at Pennywise from the miniseries, right, with Tim Curry. He's Pennywise the dancing clown, right? He's colorful. He's funny. He's approachable if you like clowns. I don't mind clowns because I liked clowns before they were considered scary. I think they're really cool, like the history of clowns. But if you look at Pennywise, that's a clown that's approachable, especially for the time because people weren't like freaked out as much as they are now by clowns. You look at the newer Pennywise, what's the point of him even being a clown? If he's going to be that creepy looking and that scary and wearing a fucking suit that doesn't even fit him, but in the wrong way. Clowns are supposed to wear suits that don't fit them, but they're supposed to be too big, not too little. You're doing it the wrong way. It's like a clown having a little blue nose. Nobody wants that. You want a big, fat, red, honky nose. You don't want a clown with little feet. You want a clown with big, floppy feet. They gave him a clown suit that's too little for him. That doesn't make any sense. And not just that, he's not approachable. What child is going to go up to that Pennywise? It defeats the whole purpose of him looking like a clown. He might as well just be a fucking spider or a fucking werewolf or a mummy or a sick guy. Anything. He might as well just be anything. Why even be a clown if he's just going to be horrifying to look at the whole time? And his eyes are moving separate ways, which he can do on command in real life. That's awesome. But in the second part, in chapter 2, there's a part where they're all looking into a mirror and then the mirror breaks, or one of them breaks the mirror. Dude, the mirror is CGI, dude. Like, it's a mirror. You couldn't just break a mirror for the fucking movie. Is there like a mirror foundation like PETA for animals? That's like, oh, well, we got a hold of a copy of your script and apparently you guys broke a mirror. It's like, what's the matter with you? Break a mirror. Dude, you're making a horror movie. Break a mirror. Break 30 mirrors. Let somebody get cut by them. Come on. Break a mirror. Please break a mirror. Don't make a CGI mirror because guess what? It's a mirror. It's not like they're standing anywhere near it like they're going to get hurt. Are you fucking kidding me? And Eddie, dude. Eddie Kazbrak was a little awesome little shit, dude. And now in the newer it doesn't match his character at all. What they did to these kids is so shit. And Eddie Kazbrak in the Tim Curry It was fucking on point. All of them were exactly how they should have been. But anyway, that's just my perspective. Who am I? Matt Smith, the host of Barely Even Here. Oh man, let's get on to something else. Dude, it is almost Thanksgiving. It's very close to Thanksgiving. We're actually just a couple days away from Thanksgiving. Actually, while I'm recording this, it might be after Thanksgiving by the time I post this. But man, we have HEBs here where I live in Texas. Place is wild. I went in for molasses because I made gingerbread cookies with my daughter last night. I'm a softie, dude. I bake cookies with my daughter. People are going crazy, and I get anxiety, man, because I grew up poor, and I'm always I'll be probably poor for the rest of my life. I'm okay with that as long as I'm not, flat broke. That shit, that's the worst. Anybody else get like? I already have anxiety, so what I worry about in a grocery store is like people thinking that I walk funny. I don't know why, but that's what I fixate on. Like I have a funny walk. So sometimes I'll get a basket if I'm just going in for like milk, just so I can lean on the basket. I don't know why. Nobody ever made me feel self conscious about my walk. Isn't that weird that we do these things to ourselves? Like we notice these things that nobody in a million years would ever notice about us. I don't think I have a funny walk unless I'm in fucking HEB. Then I do. Then I walk like Charlie Chaplin, dude. I don't know what I think. It's not even like I think I walk funny. It's like I think people are going to think that I walk funny. Isn't that weird? Wonder why that is. If any of you feel that way, let me know in the comments wherever you're listening to this at, man. Just let me know. Email me. Email me at he's barely even here at gmail.com. Leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube. Do you have any of those weird little quirks, like you're self-conscious about things that nobody's ever made you feel self-conscious about? Dang, what really gets me is paying. Oh my God, it could be payday. I could have just got paid at work and then go grocery shopping and not even get that much stuff and then get up there and it's like, I'm not going to have enough money and I'm either going to have to leave all this shit here or put it back. I know people have that anxiety, but it's one thing if you're not sure, you think maybe some things are going to hit your account. But when you know for a fact you've got the money there and you still have that anxiety, something's wrong, man. You need to see somebody. Dude, I wonder where these come from, man. The brain is so weird. The brain is so weird. It's wild, man. Maybe it comes from not having a dad. Yeah, I don't have a dad, so like I never remember when Father's Day is. I love the holidays. My mom always made it very, very special. I'm not a religious person, but we celebrate Yule, which if you're celebrating Christmas with the Christmas tree and all that, you're celebrating Yule. That's what it is. And I'm not telling you can't. I'm not telling, but it is a pagan ritual, what you're doing. You're going to disagree, but I mean, look it up. Why would there be evergreens where Jesus was born? Dude, if you believe in that kind of thing, I'm not here to make you feel shitty about what you believe in. I'm just kind of telling you. But we celebrate Yule at my house. But my mom always made Christmas feel very, very special, man. Christmas pretty much started in early November for us because we knew it was coming up. She did the best she could. She's a single mom of 4. It's tough not having a dad. I mean, I missed out on a lot of things like hunting and camping and stuff like that. But hey, I may not know how to rebuild a carburetor, but at least I never had to listen to anybody fuck my mom. I wouldn't be able to handle that. Oh God, even just thinking that, just the thought of it. Here's a weird quirk that I have. I get nervous around other people's dads. Always was. I mean, I had my grandpa and a bunch of my uncles and stuff, but outside of my family, like if I was staying the night at my friend's house, I preferred it if they didn't have dads either. Like dads just, I don't know what it was. It was very intimidating. People like dads were very intimidating to me. It's weird. I used to date this girl and her dad she was a mix too. Her mom was white, just like mine. Her dad was black. And he didn't like me because I wasn't all the way black. And it's like, dude, neither is your kid though. Isn't that weird? We'd have beautiful, beautiful baby. I mean, mixed babies are beautiful. I don't know about, I was beautiful when I was a baby, but man, I didn't get that good kind of mixed. There's those guys that girls got to wring out their underwear because they have like, the bronze skin, but with the green or blue eyes. I didn't, man. I look like I'm somewhere between Malaikum Salam and Chinga tu Madre. It's like, I can't tell if you're Hispanic but I like to keep it that way. I like to keep my ethnicity ambiguous. It keeps things interesting. I like to shake things up. It's fun. I like being mixed. It's hard though, man. It's hard being black and white, dude. My credit score fluctuates like my manic depression. Times are tough, dude. Times are tough for everybody. I think everybody's credit score fluctuates right now. I didn't know how credit worked. Do you know that the more credit cards you have, the better? Did you know that? Did you know that? Go look at Credit Karma. You'll actually, the more lines of credit you have, the better your credit will be. I always thought, because they always tell you, oh, get one credit card and keep it away and don't use it. No, fuck that. Use that. Use it for like gas. And then when it comes time to pay your bill, it'll give you a little option that's like, would you like to pay $15 more? Do that. And then that'll skyrocket your credit like crazy. I mean, I destroyed my credit because I bought a car that I really couldn't afford. But other than that, I got my credit score up to like a 700, like really, really fast because I did that. I would use my credit card for like gas or to buy DVDs at Goodwill or buy records or something. And then when it was time to pay it, I'd get the notification from the app and it would be like, would you like to pay $10 more or $15 more? And I'm like, yup. And I would. And then bam, my credit score would shoot up by like 8, 9, 12 points sometimes because I'm paying so much. I'm paying extra on it. And before you know it, I'm actually paying in more than I even need to, which made it look even better. And then I found out about another credit card. So I was like, okay, well, since my credit's getting up there, I'll get another credit card. Because my first one was actually it was a secured credit card. Man, this took a weird turn. Anyway, that's what the show's about. My first credit card was a secured credit card with a deposit of $500. So I hope this can help somebody out there. Well, my first credit card was a secured credit card with a $500 deposit. So that's what I was using that for. So then once I got my credit up, like doing that thing I was just talking about, I went and I was qualified for another credit card and I got another one and then I got qualified for another. So I got another one and my credit score just went bananas. It was awesome. That's how I was able to just buy a brand new car off the lot. It worked really well. I should have never got that car though. And it wouldn't, I'm not even sure it was so much that car. It's just like financially things kind of started fucking up and you know how life goes. But I hope that helps you. If you want to build your credit really fast, pay a little bit extra. Use it for like a little minor. Who am I? Who am I to give you credit advice? But use it for. I could go back to the movies. I could bitch about Skinamarink, dude. God, dude. The movie was dog shit. They tried far too hard. Far too hard. Man, I was hearing such good things about it too. And I like analog horror, which is that type of horror. You're better off just going to YouTube and typing in analog horror and just watching. You'll get sucked down that, like back rooms and things. There's this one really cool, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's like The Sun Went Away. That's a really neat one. Let me see if that's actually what it's called. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's actually called The Sun Has Disappeared, and it's about the sun just going away. The sun's they just realize that the sun never comes up and it's gone. And it's like through text messages and stuff like that, but it's analog horror. And that's basically what Skinamarink is. It's like weird dreamscape horror. And it's not good and it's boring. And I kept falling asleep. And the parts everybody were talking about were just that. They were just the parts people were talking about. And then you get to it and there's no payoff. I was totally expecting there to be a good payoff, but there was not. All right, before I turn this into another gripe fest, I should probably hop off of here. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Hey, before I go, have you guys checked out ePup22 on Twitch yet? Did you do that? Because you should. Do you like gaming? You should check that out. Do you like THC? Do you have PTSD? Do you have trouble sleeping at night? Do you just like to imbibe and do you just like to enjoy a little THC and watch shitty movies and not be angry about them? Well, check out Dustin Krieger at Ursa Botanicals in Seguin, Texas. And while you're there, stop by Culture and get yourself all dripped up and leave snail trails everywhere because you're just dripping so much. Yeah, check him out, Max Marion at Culture in Seguin, Texas. And hey, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming back to episode 3. Bam! Stay tuned for episode 4. Like and subscribe where you can. And we'll catch you on the next one.
moving on.